Yo, what's up, my dude? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the possibility of an apocalypse, and not just a zombie apocalypse, but I'm going to get pretty deep into like government type apocalypse and different things like that, and just how quickly the world could actually burn. So this video might be somewhat of a Debbie Downer to some people, so you might want to viewer discretion advised here. But I'm just going to be talking about some like deep shit, basically, like some real life stuff, and it's things that probably most people never even think about, for damn sure don't even talk about. But I think that it's some interesting topics because it's so real. It's not even funny. So that's what's cool about it. But I'm not one of those dudes where I'm kind of like gathering all these bullets up and building this bunker and stuff like that. And I'll tell you why here in a second. It'll make a whole lot more sense when I actually tell you why. But what's crazy about all of it is all it takes is one little thing. This world, the way it works and the way it runs, there's so many moving parts to it, and if any of those little things get severed, it basically creates a nuke, pretty much. Because just think about this, okay? If they just shut off the fuel, the diesel and the gas, if they just totally, we couldn't get that anymore, in 7 days, you wouldn't have anything in your grocery store. 7 days. And that's just cutting the fuel off, okay? Could you imagine that? No fuel. If there's no fuel, the trucks can't run. So then, therefore, you have no food at the grocery store. So it's whatever kind of Lay's tater chips you got chilling at the crib. That's pretty much all you can eat, and that's eventually not going to be good enough. So then it's going to be survival of the fittest, just like that. 7 days. 7 days. Why am I saying 7 days when I'm playing 7 Days to Die? I didn't mean for that little correlation there, but that's cool anyways. But not just that, okay? All the government would have to do, there's one thing. They can hit one little button and basically end it all. Can any of you guys guess it? Electricity, dude. Some people may not even really think about that, but just picture that in your mind. If they just shut off all the electricity to the world, you might think, oh, okay, well then we wouldn't have lights, and then we wouldn't be able to see to get around and work, and then things like that. But no, it's your fridge, it's your deep freeze, it's all of that stuff. You shut off your electricity, there goes all of your food flow. You still got your crackers and stuff like that, but it's not going to be, all of your stuff is going to ruin very quickly when you shut off just simple things like electricity. So, and do you know how to actually get electricity if the government shut it off? Do you know how to make electricity? I don't know how to do that shit. So, just that right there is how easy they could just basically turn it into Timbuktu. I mean, just absolute survival warfare at that point. And it kind of gets to a certain degree where, I mean, the government, they make what the currency is. So they could wake up tomorrow and just say, oh, we're not using this currency anymore, we're going to go to this brand new currency, and that would totally nuke the entire world if they did that. And that's just a couple of words away. It's so crazy how fragile it all really is. I mean, it's a blooming wonder that the world can even run, just because of how close it really is to just absolute destruction. I mean, instant destruction. Because I'm telling you, if one thing goes bad, it ruins the whole, it's going to take down the whole ship. So it's quite crazy and dangerous when you think about it like that. And you don't own your land. You don't own your home. You just have the right to pay property taxes on it. I think some people don't realize that as well. Like, the government owns everything you have. They could wake up tomorrow and say, this is not yours, this is ours. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Shoot back and then get shot? Okay. The government has ultimate power. That's why when people try to, stand up and talk for things and be kind of up against the government a little bit and stuff like that, that's why they do that. Because I mean, the government is one hop step away from just being like this overruling And that's how a lot of other countries are still to this day. But I mean, I'm telling you, like, you really don't own anything. And this is going to be getting into some deep stuff. Like I'm saying, if you don't want this negative kind of thought process, then this is not your video. But now let me get into the actual survival portion of it. So let's say there's no food left. So what happens then? What does that turn into? Well, now you're looking at, and then if money's not worth anything and the bank's closed down, well, now you're looking at items. So now we're going sort of back in time here. You've got your items that you trade, and you basically have no police force at that point. It's just gun against gun combat, and you have all your farmers out there that have your cows and all that's the food source at that point. So then it becomes a lot of theft involved, trying to steal the cow for the food, because how else are you going to get food if money's not worth anything? See what I'm saying? So then it becomes a warfare in that sense. And then it's like, okay, well, so let's say you were one of those people that stashed up all these bullets, stashed up all these guns, had this super bunker base, whatever, and you get to this apocalyptic point, and let's just say you survive. Let's say you kill 500 people, and dogs and bears and whatever else comes after your ass. Let's say you somehow magically make it through all that, and you kill everybody, and you survive. You got enough food to survive. What the hell's the point of even living at that point anyways? Think about that. And this is why I don't stash up and do all that different stuff. I mean, I have enough bullets to chill, but it's not like I don't have just mountains on top of mountains of bullets. But you think about it, like, even if you survived all that, what's the point of living at that point? Because then it's the underground world. You're living in a bunker base, eating saltine crackers every day, killing, seeing death constantly. What's the point of life anymore? What's even the, why are you even living? And me and my parents were talking about this, and this was like a oh shit moment for me. I was like, damn, think about that for a second. Like, because I guess from the naked eye, it's like, oh, we need to stash up all these bullets. We need to do all this stuff so we can survive. We don't want to die. But it's like, even if you did get through all that and survive, what kind of life is that anyways at that point? So it's like, I mean, for me, it's like, I mean, life's short anyways. It's just the shortest thing as it is. So, I mean, what's really the point, I don't know. It gets to a point where it's like there's no words for it. You would just hope that mankind would never let it get to that point. But I'm guarantee you it's been that just straight up gun warfare, no police, you kill your food. It's been at that apocalyptic point more than once in the human life cycle of evolution. I promise you, it's been there a couple times, and what a scary thought process. I guess you could think like maybe the world would rebuild itself, if you survive through it, but how on earth? It ain't gonna happen quick, I mean, you would die of old age before if it did get to apocalyptic point, you would die of old age before it ever got back to somewhat of a normal civilization. So when you think about it like that, it's like, what the hell's the point? I don't know. But what a crazy thought though. And you think about, man, I wouldn't want to get tortured. So then it's like suicidal thoughts come into mind. It's like, what are you going to do? I mean, what the hell are you going to do? It's the unruly, coldest thought processes of the world possible. And what a cold world, because I'm telling you, it's a button away from that being reality. It's a button away, dude. So if that happens, appreciate the time we had on this planet. It was a good old time. Whichever way I go out, hey man, it was an awesome life. Couldn't have asked for better everything. Just had the coolest life ever. So maybe this video will be found by somebody eventually. Now I'm talking some real shit here, but oh man. But yeah, just something to think about. Don't let it scare you to death, but something to think about, man. It's just like, wow. Think about how close we are, to just absolute world chaos in a split second. Man, just unreal. And that's why it's so scary when they talk about like the government having gun control and cutting off bullet flow and all of that. That's why that's so scary, because it's like, what are they trying to do? I mean, that's the only people's defense is their own weaponry, you know? That's all we have. That's it. So I want to let you guys know that I have all of my different playlists on my front page, whether it be game-specific playlist or series-specific playlist. So if you're looking for any particular game or particular series that you want to watch, I have it all laid out there in a pretty organized manner on my front page. There is a link in the description to donate to me if you want to support me. And if you can't or you just don't want to, I totally understand. That's why it's completely optional. But I will be listing my top 10 donators at the end of every single future video, and I will shout out every new donator at the end of a video, even if they're not top 10. And my email address is spencerturley@live.com, no space, no capital, and I do accept sponsorship offers. And you guys should also follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, Steam, all that different stuff at Spencer Turley, no space, no capital. So anyways, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. Later, dudes.